Yes, it's that Friday feeling. You are back in the place. You are back in Dad's RC Hangar. Yes, I can smell that RC feeling, and it's starting. It's starting right here, right now, in Dad's RC Hangar with myself, Chris, and the rest of the weekend for everybody. If you're lucky enough to have a few days off in the weekend to fly, fantastic. But unfortunately, not everyone does, and the weekend is gonna fly, gonna stuff. Yes, today, what are we doing? Yes, we are continuing the Max Thrust Pro. Yes, we're back to the Nitro. Gotta smell Nitro in the morning. Can't beat it. Yes, we are doing a fire up the engine. I've got this thing in my head saying, Chris, test the engine, test the engine. Normally I test a Nitro engine before it even goes on the plane, but I didn't with this one. And it was new, but second-hand new, if that makes sense. The box was opened, but it hasn't had 1 hour on it. So we're going to fire that up today. Now, I did get some glow plugs the other day. They did turn up. We've been waiting for ages for this, which are the OS glow plug hot baby hot, which are number 6 A3. So I've whacked one in there with my funky spanner. It's not even a spanner, is it? It's like a wrenchy thing with a thing that tightens when you do that. Whatever it's called. But first of all, what I do want to do is I want to put some wheels on it, because when it's going to be sitting outside, I want the wheels on there so then I can hold it back with everything else and it's not going to fly off. I'm not going to put the wings on, and the electronics are just going to be thrown in there just to see if it works, just so I can do the throttle and going up and down throttle, and we put a bottle of fluid through it. After that, then it's rock and roll. It's ready to go. I've just got to put all the bits and pieces together, which is not a lot. I mean, most of the stuff we'd covered, it's just me tinkering around inside the plane, getting things how I like them to be. I've got to do the CFG whether I'm going to be 2 batteries or 1 battery. Lots of funky stuff to do, but I reckon without further ado, let's crack on. There she is. She's upside down, and you can just about see me. If I was smaller, you could see me, but don't worry about it. In fact, I'm going to take my hat off because it's getting in. Hat off to you. I'm taking my hat off to you. It's getting a bit hot. Now, I did lose these bushes. You get these little bushes. I don't know, they're called collars, I would thought. And you're not going to see them because they're really out of focus. But they fit on here to stop the wheel falling off. I actually lost them, but because now I've got all these lovely little stuff, I've found some spare ones. But this is what happens when you leave a project to do another project, because it arrives in the post earlier than you think, etc, etc. So, in fact, let's just test it up a bit. Let me move you so we can have a chit chat, because you know it's always good to have a chit chat. There's not a lot going on here. There we go. Yes, I know. You was dying to see me. I need a haircut. Yes, I have got hair. Just about. Right. So I just thought we'd put the wheels on and then we fire the engine up. Now, important thing is that these little Oreo wheels that come with it are hard as they're rock hard. They really are rock hard. So I thought, well, let's use the wheels from the Boomerang. God rest her soul. Anyway, yes, the Boomerang. So, but they're very hard. I didn't realise it. You see, this is all about my journey, is knowing different bits and pieces, and this one is quite hard. So so then I have, they are actually, and they was actually bigger, if you can see, they're actually bigger. So then I had these, which are also Dubro tyres, which are lovely tyres, and these are the 70 mil tyres, but they are low bounce. Yes, they are slightly smaller. So for now I'm going to stick these on there anyway, whether I fly with them, whether I find just a little bit bigger on the low bounce, I'd have to see. Whoa, hey. Oh, having a drink, missus. No, I haven't. I just, yeah, one of them days. Yes, V2 Hangar is on its way. 2 weeks and it will be here. I've got so much work to do outside to preparation for Hangar V2. It's going to be crazy. Hence why I'm not getting out fly. But Mr. Paul Heckles, Sir Paul Heckles, Captain. Yes, Captain Heckles, Paul Heckles is back. Yes, he's back. He's back from the States. Yes, we just had a massive boat, a massive warship pull into Portsmouth. Yes, in the UK from America. Salute you guys. How you doing? I'll remember later on what it's called. But oh, the amount of planes that are on it, so sexy, so sexy. Right. Okay. So what we're doing? Right. So these all I'll plug in here, and of course, you know, just tap, just the ends, just to make sure that they fit in there, which I'm sure they do. And then you've got to drill your own holes. Okay, so now I'm not going to use the screws on here. I'm going to use some RTL hex screws, which are the, I think they're 3mm M3 by 5/16. So I like hex heads. Yeah, we're gonna stick them in there. But first we need to drill, and it just so happens I think I've got the actual right drill bit in here, which I haven't. So let's give me a second. In fact, we'll open our other box, our box of goodies. You can't see, I know. You can't see what I'm doing. You're just going to have to sort of pretend you know. And then I've got my itty bitty ones, which are probably too small, to be honest with you. They're more like for the Balsa and bits and pieces. As I say, I mean, I've got most things sorted out in the Hangar, but not everything. It's still waiting for Hangar V2. Then everything's going to go across, which is going to be fantastic. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. That's the one I want. You're the one I want. Do I? Honey. Right, so I did drill these out with a 4.5mm drill bit. They do look small on there, don't they? But they're a low bounce, and for today's purposes, you know, that's good. For today's purposes, that is all I need. Just to stand it up, just to test the engine. It's what it is. It's not going to be a big video today. As I say, you're going to have to excuse the videoage over the next couple of weeks. I can't envisage myself to be flying at all until I don't know. I really don't know. I mean, we're starting to get those days now where it's really sunny and shiny. I mean, today did start sunny, did start shining. I thought, ooh, I'll just get a random plane and get out there. But because of the rain and everything, our flying field is a bit waterlogged. Or not the field itself, but the entrance to it. And trying to carry all your stuff is a pain in the backside. Right, okay, so we've got these little covers. Excuse me, we've got these little covers. They haven't got pre-drilled holes on these, which is fine. I don't mind that. But I want to get this ready because if I do get, you know, if it gets one of them days and Paul Heckles is on it, then yes, we'll do it for the shakedown. Yes, we'll do the shakedown flight with Mr. If I get this out with Mr. Paul Heckles, Captain Paul Heckles, and hopefully Dr. Owens, our good friend Dr. Owens, will be about as well for a bit of quaddage. If not, we'll just stick a camera on there. Right, so these just got to be marked and drilled, and then we'll put some hex screws, which are a lot better, a lot nicer, and yeah. So let me just drill this. I could speed it up, I suppose. Haha, there you go. Right, so yeah, they're not that. I should have marked them up really. You know, I'm sort of being a bit of a Russian, or should I say Russian these days. Rushing a bit. I'm not rushing, but you know, I just wanted to put them on. They go on. They're not as wide as I thought. They could have been a bit wider. They're very tight on the wood, but there is wood underneath, like plywood underneath that is all drilled into. So this is all lovely and great. And as I say, the actual points are the little metal. Well, I don't know what you call them. Anyway, they sink into the actual plane, so it should be fine anyway. So we'll use these. We'll use our little bouncy tyres, and I have put hex screws, I would say, hex screws in here. I'm just going to put them temporary on, not temporary, but I will put the inner ones on some Loctite, you know, so they don't rattle and you lose your wheel when you're taking off, because that's really not a good idea. So, I mean, the best thing is to do these, we might as well do these bit properly, is that you always to put the bolts so they're sort of like sitting up, so they don't, if they do rattle, they don't sort of fall out, if that makes sense. Whether they will or not, I don't know. But if you do them tight enough, put a bit of Loctite in, lovely jubbly. These do look small, these wheels. Probably won't use these wheels, I don't know. But for today's purpose, they're fine. I'm not going to worry about too much about doing anything. It was all about the engine firing up. But we'll do that, which is the OS sexy engine firing her up, and just to make sure she's yeah, she's good. There you go. Wheels are on. Right, okay, what we'll do then, I think we'll take her outside and fill her with fuel and see what happens. What's the worst can happen? Alrighty then, so she's all secured. The LA40, I think it's the LA40, it is here, OS LA40. We're going to fire her up, so that first of all, let's fill her up with some fuel. I haven't done this at all, so I'm not sure what's going to happen. But yeah, don't know if she's going to leak. I really don't know. This is like, you know. Oh, and that sounds like a. Okay, I know what that is. That is the pipe that I put in for the fuel. I didn't push that in properly. Okay, so let's try it now. There we go. See all these bits and pieces? I've still got to put foam on the side of here. I just really wanted to get the engine fired up before I put any more electronics in properly. Yeah, so we've got an automatic igniter, which will work off a battery and a switch and everything else, and then I'll push button to ignite and all that sort of thing. There we go. That's a fuel, and that is actually fueled up all the way to the carb. So this should be interesting. Let's get this back off first. Boom. Now she is a smaller plane than the Boomerang. She is a lot smaller than the plane, so I didn't want to go too heavy with her, so I didn't want to put all the gumps and gizmos in that I had been before. But yeah, that should be enough. I think that's where the slightly closer there. I think I just got it trapped when I was putting it in earlier. There you go, sitting at the bottom there. That's where she should be. So I'm going to go and get the lid. We'll go and get an igniter. We've got our transmitter or receiver, which would be the 910 Pro. It's just basically just whacked together, and then that will go to the battery for the igniter. I have got to put this switch in. I've also got to put another switch in, but I'm switchless. I've only got the one, but there will be one either side, one for the electronics and one for the igniter. So let's get the cap here and let's go and get our transmitter. Alrighty, so I did put the nose on the front of her, the prop spinner, just so it's easier to use the align. Sexy. Oh yes, my little posh starter. Yes, so I'm just a bit nervous at the moment because obviously, hang on, engine. Yeah, that's fine. To make sure that yes, it does. Good. Okay. Just safety. It's always safety first. It's got to be safety. Right. So yes, everything's good. Everything good. Switch is on. Let's fire it up. Yes, the OS40 LA, or is it LA40? I think it's LA40. Let's fire up anyway. If I can find me stuff, so I've got my little LED, which I should have really just stuck there ready to see, but I can see there, just to make sure that when I press this button, it sends a current to here, and there we go. Oh, first time. That sounds a bit rich, son. You want to wind that back? Huh? Clear prop. told you. Can't beat tea. Wow. First time fired up. Can you believe that? I mean, wow. I mean, she's been sitting in the hangar for a few months now and everything else. One turn and she fired up. I am so impressed with that little engine. Yes, I was running her a bit rich. A bit too much. Hence, the first was a bit... Steve, you didn't want to go. And then I dialed back less rich. It needs playing about. It needs the Paul Heckles touch. I've been watching Paul Heckles, what he does and everything else, and it has helped me today. As you can see, you should get that throttle and it should be instantaneous. Instantaneous. Sound effects are for free. Ha! Yes. Wow. I'm impressed with that. I don't know how gut she's going to be. I'm going to try and keep the Max Thrust Pro as light as possible, I think. I think I'm going to stick one battery in, and I'm going to put a little port on the side that I can stick the battery in when I fire up, and then take the battery back out again. Rather than, yes, you can use the, sort of the igniter, but if I'm not near that prop, then that's fantastic. As with any plane, I shouldn't be near the prop. I shouldn't have to be. So electronics today allow you to do that. Yes, you did see that if you don't go on that properly, that little cap, it does fly off. There's still a bit of vibration on that. I did check that propeller. I'm sure I did to balance, but I'm going to take her off, check her again, and see how balanced she is. Yes, the engine is vibrating anyway. You always get that vibration. That's why I use the... Is it the Pro that I use? Is it? Well, I've forgotten what one I use. I've got another one in here. What is it called? FR Sky R10 Pro. Now, the R10 Pro is basically for Nitro engines because it doesn't mind if it's shaken about a bit. As I say, it's not got a gyro or anything. It's just very good at taking vibration. It's good for vibration. And as you saw, if you did see before, the boomerang, and I can put something up here for the boomerang, it lied. Yes, the boomerang didn't come back. So not every boomerang comes back to you. Oh, golly gosh. Anyway, yes, but she worked for ages and ages and ages, and it was only my own fault that she's no longer with us in the hangar. But not to worry, not to worry. Plenty more hangars, planes to do. Plenty more hangars. Yes, Hangar V2 is coming. If I didn't tell you that, I'm sure I did. But yes, so I'm going to carry on tinkering in that. I will video that tomorrow. Is Hangar V2 preparation, and also Sunday. Most of the day anyway, so but I will continue with this build. It's possibly that I might show you what I did, because there's not much in there as to say how do I do that, and if you are building one yourself, it's just down to self preference inside once you've got the servos in. But I will take you through what I did anyway on the maiden flight. So I want her ready for Paul Heckles, so he's in the country, as I said, and if it's lovely weather, then we'll get down there, we'll do the shakedown with Paul Heckles. He will give me marks out of 10 on the build and the engine, and then we'll go and fly her, and I will maiden her myself. Hopefully it'll be a successful maiden and not a maiden crash. But hey, listen, if you're getting out this weekend and you have got the weather and you've been out today, then fantastic. But listen, if you are getting out there in any kind of RC, then be safe, but most of all, keep safe and have fun, because that's what RC is all about. Listen, thanks everyone for more subscribers and more members. If you want a membership, then there's some links and it'll come up at the end. Subscribe, just hit the subscribe and hit the like. It helps the channel. It helps the channel get noticed and the algorithm and all that sort of lovely stuff, so I can share my journey with more people. And it's to you that I thank you. And yes, lots more planes coming over. Love it, love it. Anyway, thanks for popping by. Ta-ra now, bye.